Hello, everybody. Good morning, wherever you are, find yourself. Good afternoon. I guess it's evening in some places. Well, I bring you greetings from my family. Um, it's a bright, brand new day, and it's the second day of the new month, um, the month of March 2019. All right. Hello. We have one of those who are watching from us. That's Wycliffe. Wycliffe, hello, how are you doing? It's a pleasure to be seeing you here today live. Hi there, Henry. Hello, thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure having you here on our platform. We are going to be talking about character development. Last week, we opened up the topic, my wife and I, we introduced the topic actually, the fact that it is important that we get back to the basics. The fact that it's important that the trouble that we find ourselves in, usually or mostly, is as a result of character deformation. All right. And then we have chosen to take up a topic in order to talk about it, in order to share, in order to learn, in order to see how we can bring corrections, in order to ensure that things are in the right order. Because a country, a nation, a people without order, of course, there will be this disorder, there will be chaos, all right? And of course, part of order is, putting the right things in place, having the right value system, putting the right character in place. And it begins from home. It begins from home. Hello, we are honored to have Mrs. Lydia Olonreniwo on our platform. It's good morning wherever you are. God bless you. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so are we ready to begin the topic? All right, let's begin because of our time. All right. So South Africa produced a household name that sends a good ripple in the minds of those who hear his name. In many parts of the world, the person I'm talking about is being studied in schools, all right, and in colleges. And especially when the topic of Africa rises, okay. Back when I was in Georgia, I had an experience where I went into a class and they're talking about Africa, and this person's name was mentioned. Okay, so when there's a study on government politics, on apartheid, of course, his name is usually mentioned. I'm talking about no other person but Nelson Mandela. Okay, now Nelson Mandela is known as a South African apartheid revolutionary. He was a political leader, a philanthropist who served as president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was the country's first black head of state and the first elected in a fully representative democratic election. His government focused on dismantling the legacy of apartheid by tackling institutionalized racism and fostering racial reconciliation. All right. Though, as we know, he was an African nationalist, he was a socialist. All his success does not deny the fact that he served 27 years in prison. Split between Robben Island, Portsmouth Prison, and Victor Verster Prison. All right. His second child, Makaziwe, died at just 9 months old. He had two other children, Madiba Tembelike, all right, who died in a car crash while he was in prison in 1969. The second child, Lewanika, also died of AIDS in 2005. He had several challenges in life. He had several setbacks in life, things that could have torn him apart. But nevertheless, he still gained international acclaim for his activism. He is widely regarded as an icon of democracy, social justice as well. He received more than 250 honors, including the Nobel Peace Prize, and became the subject of a cult of personality. He is held in deep respect in South Africa and all around the world. Now, one good question that is burning in my mind about him is, what makes Nelson Mandela tick? What is the reason for pressing on despite his predicaments and his personal struggles? Probably if I had a chance to speak to him physically, he may tell me something else that I do not know. But what I can learn from his character is diligence. 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 Nelson Mandela is a man of diligence. I would like to relay a quote from him that can help us to understand his character. Nelson Mandela once said that running taught me valuable lessons. In cross-country competition, training counted more than intrinsic ability, and I could compensate for a lack of natural aptitude with diligence and discipline. I applied this in everything that I did. Now, from this quote from Nelson Mandela, we understand that he picked up some lessons from sprinting. He understood that life is like a competition. So to succeed, you have to play by the rules. To succeed, you have to play by the rules. This also reminds me of an interesting scripture in the Holy Bible. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 5 says, similarly, anyone who competes as an athlete does not receive the victor's crown except by competing according to the rules. Except by competing according to the rules. So, just like Nelson Mandela, he said particularly that he picked up the rules of diligence and discipline, and he applied it to everything that he did, which of course led him to be tested and to be trusted by people and by faith. Yet, today we celebrate him and we want to be associated with him. Diligence is a worthy value that is indispensable in every time, in every age, in every society. It is indispensable. It was indispensable in the past. It is indispensable now. It will always be indispensable because the author of life himself is diligent. Okay? So, diligence is a worthy value that is indispensable, especially if anyone wants to stand out among peers. But unfortunately, today, the value of diligence is eroding in our homes. Let me just, okay, great. All right. Yeah. I was saying that the value of diligence is eroding in our homes. It is eroding because parents are no longer instilling discipline in their children. They have mistook or misunderstood love, and giving love away, giving the value of diligence away for uncontrolled and unmerited support to their children. But not just in the homes alone. How about in our schools? Many teachers don't reward hard work from studious students, but they have allowed greed to take over their sense of discipline. It is so easy to see students cheat and teachers helping them to cheat during examinations. Now, regardless of the fact that examination malpractices are punishable by law, many students still go unpunished because it is their teachers that is giving them the opportunity to cheat. How about in our government parastatals, government establishments? In order to get a service done, you will be shocked at the fact that you won't be attended to with urgency or even with respect. Workers go to work late and their directors do the same also. They don't work on time. Many files lie on their tables, without being attended to. Just 2 days ago, I was speaking to a friend in Nigeria. He works as an auditor in one of the government establishments. He told me that, Sam, do you know that my boss, he resumes work at 8:30 in the morning, all right? And he has breakfast by 9 o'clock. There are several works that I have done and I've just passed it on his table. He just needs to sign, and that is his work. He needs to sign to give his assent to the work that I have done, all right? And the people that are waiting on the list to get their money paid will get their money paid. But this man just won't do his work. His style is, if somebody really needs to come and get his money paid, he has to come to the office and be troubling him. So he will ask, is the person at the in the reception or something? And if the person is there, okay, bring me his file. Then he will sign. What nonsense! There is no sense of diligence anymore. And that is why we all suffer. That is why the third world countries suffer. That is why African countries suffer. Now, this is not only in Nigeria, by the way. It is in everywhere. I've been to Uganda. I've been to Nigeria. I've been to Kenya. I see these things. It is just a habit, and all because of a character that is missing. When diligence is in place, the society will straighten up. When diligence is in place, everybody will rise up. China was far backward. Japan was far backward. But you see, these guys, they are diligent. I was working somewhere sometime, and I was working at the till, okay? And a Chinese man came to me, all right? He wanted to buy a product. He just threw a bag of coins at me and said, that is the amount of money I need to pay for my what's it called, for the product. Well, if somebody brings a bag of coins, it will require you to take time and check the coins. Because nowadays, by the way, we don't actually take coins. I mean, okay, we do take coins, I mean, but you know, the legal, I mean, notes is much more easier, you know, to pay for products rather than coins. Okay. But the guy claims that back in China, that people, and no matter the case, people still ensure that work is being done, you know, you know, quickly. All right. I know that he was wrong to approach it in a different world, but I thought of it as well, that these guys are so much in their country that every opportunity that they receive or they get, they maximize it. All right, because there are little chances, you know, and so many people are, you know, are scrambling for these little chances. So any opportunities that they get, they try to maximize it, and that is diligence anyway. Okay, that is diligence. In our part of the world, we are so slow to take chance to take opportunities. We intentionally delay what ought to be done instead of us to focus on what to be done. All right, and so many things suffer. So many things really suffer, and that is not really healthy for our economy. It's not healthy for our homes. It's not healthy for our society. It's not healthy for anything at all. Everyone should be diligent. Everyone should be diligent. All right. Let's see what our friends are sharing. Okay, Esther is saying that the value of diligence is in our homes these days because most parents are not teaching this to their children. Yes, that's great. All right, I'd like to proceed on the topic. I'm talking about character development. And one vital character that needs to be developed in everyone, whether old or young, because it is not too late, is diligence. Is diligence. So I was speaking about the bureaucratic establishments that has choked the essence of good service in our countries, all right, and in everywhere that we go, all right, which has become a harbinger for bribery and further corruption. Because of course, if you slow down the process of work, if we're not being diligent enough, okay, we will be thinking in our mind, what can I do to speed up the process of getting the work done? And of course, that will be an open ground for bribery and corruption to take place. Okay, it's all because of lack of diligence, and that is where that's how our country derodes in character. That is where our people derodes in character. That is where it is very easy for someone to ask for bribes, okay, for his work to be done. The work that's supposed to be your right, the work that's supposed to be your right as a citizen of your country, you get to now dip your hands in your pocket and begin to pay for a service that ought to be rendered to you for free. Because of course it is their legal responsibility to do so. Okay. This is why we're talking about character development anyway. Now, what is diligence? I'd like to explore this topic in the best way that I can. I will try to look at the topic, the topic in the. I'll try to mention some areas. I'm not able to talk much more. You know, I mean, um, we talk, in a very wide, way. But I mean, I also try to give some examples that are relevant. Okay. Now, what is diligence? Okay, Sister Lydia is saying, let's define diligence and break it down. Please, Brother Sam, because the word has been used loosely. Great, great. Okay, we will try. We will try. We will try. Esther says, in Africa, we do not value diligence. We delay to take up opportunities, mostly rely on miracles or someone else would come by and help us achieve something. That's perfect. Okay, let's quickly go into the topic, to define the topic. Okay, what is diligence? Some people will say diligence is hard work. I agree. Because without hard work, the major part of diligence is lost. Okay? Some people will say diligence is time management. It's also correct, but it's not totally true because diligence is more than time management. Maybe if you add time management to hard work, then you are now looking at what diligence is. But I want to tell you that diligence is more than hard work. Diligence is more than time management. Diligence is the level of attention and care that we dedicate to any endeavor. The level of attention and care we dedicate to any endeavor. Whether it is that we are working at home, we are doing house chores, or whether we are out there, doing a business, working in a firm, or working in a company. Diligence is the level of attention that you pay to the work that is at hand. Why did I say attention? Attention because when you are focused on a task, your brain, your mind, your knowledge, your skills comes to play. You address an issue, based on what it needs at that moment. Okay, so when you are being diligent enough to a particular task, what happens is you look at the work at hand, you assess it, and then you reciprocate by giving exactly what it needs to achieve that work. And when you have done that, you do a cross check to ensure that the work that has been done, will be perfect or is seen as being perfect. So you cross check. Okay. So when we're talking about level of attention, sometimes or most times when we are at work or we are doing something, we are not, our minds are not there. Our minds are far away. Our minds are not present. Okay, and this happens to many of us. Okay, and we are struggling to come out of it. So the other day I was listening to DSA when he was speaking about the fact that we need to be here and now. All right, somebody who is diligent will always be here and now, meaning that the person will have a rapt attention on what he is doing right now. We're not doing a particular work. At the same time, we are thinking of how to make food in the kitchen, or we are thinking of how to focus on something else. We are thinking of money that is not yet being paid. we're thinking of this, or we're thinking of that. Okay, when we are diligent enough, we forget about every other thing that is not concerned with what we are doing. We focus on what is needed. That is increasing the level of our attention. Okay, all right. That is number one. Secondly, we assess the work that needs to be done. Thirdly, we look at, we bring to play everything that is supposed to be brought to play. Okay, the skills, the knowledge, the understanding. Okay, when we are looking at a work, for example, and if we are not diligent enough, we will not be able to look at the nitty-gritty of the work that needs to be done. For example, if you are reading a contract, we will miss out on very, very important part of the contract if we are not diligent enough. If we are diligent enough, we will look at the contract and we'll look at every phrase to be able to pinpoint on what is not clear, what is ambiguous. Okay, that is where you are being diligent enough. Someone who is not diligent enough will just take the contract, read it, and just sign it. And at the end of the day, there will be problems. Diligence requires us to focus on a particular task, to increase our interest, to ask questions, to look at ways to ensure that every area is marked, everything is in check. Okay. I hope I try to do justice, Mrs. Lauren. You. It's a joy, ma. It is a joy, ma, that you're watching with your daughter. Great, great. All right. This topic is really important because we need to go back to the basics. As I'm talking to you, I know that personally also, I also need to do a lot of work, on myself. Okay. And it's all about you, compensating for things that you have lost. Okay. Every one of us can do this, actually. Every one of us can do this. Every one of us can take time, to see where we are going wrong, or to see which knots that needs to be tightened in our lives, in our character. Every one of us needs to be able to assess ourselves and say, wait a minute, I think I'm missing an important thing in my life. I need to tweak this area of my life. Every one of us can make that change in our lives. Okay. Now, what is diligence? Diligence is like an investment, which means that what you put into something determines what you will get out of it. If you want to get the best out of a work, you need to ensure that you have put so much into it. Then you'll be so bold to say that, yes, I demand the best to come out of it. If you are doing a business, for example, you would have thought that, before you can say, I want to make maximum profit, it means that you must have done your homework. You must not just think of the capital you're bringing into the business, but you must have done a study of how to make sure that your business excels, that you will succeed at the business. You must think of, market strategies of ensuring that the business actually works. For example, if you want to sell books, the question that you must ask yourself is, okay, what kind of book am I going to sell? What is the market out there? Do people require this kind of books at this time, or is there a season that this kind of books sell? All right, you have to ask yourself, okay, all right, in what other way can I draw the attention of customers to, get my book? How can I popularize the book? How can I ensure that the book, is not just lying down in Amazon, but people are going to buy it from Amazon? Okay, how can I, make sure that people are getting my product? These are the kind of questions that we need to be thinking about. It is being diligent. Diligence is not is makes the work that we are doing sensible. All right. Diligence helps us to know that, all right, if we are really diligent enough, it means that we have hit the target. It means that we have achieved what needs to be achieved. A diligent person works hard because anything worth doing is worth doing well. And the way you do your work actually is a reflection of who you are. Diligence is hard work in the face of challenges. So maybe you must have seen the post that we did last night or yesterday. You must have seen how the what's it called, the cartoon, of the man that was riding the tractor, and on the farm. Diligence is hard work in the face of challenges. Diligence is we being able to work regardless of what season we find ourselves. Some people will say, well, it is raining today, I'm not going to work. Some people will say, well, the sun is shining too much today, I'll not be able to work. Some people will say, well, it is cold today, I cannot work. You must have put all those things into consideration before you start working. But there will be a time that the weather will not permit you to work. What do you do then? Diligence would have helped you to map out strategy ahead of time. Diligence is hard work in the face of challenges. Now, there are so many challenges out there. Challenges that we ourselves caused. Challenges that are coming from us and coming to us as a result of we not being diligent enough to put things in place. Challenges that comes to us from society, from the law, from government, from other people. Now, because we want to get our work done, we have to face those challenges. Else, we will not be able to achieve great success. And by the way, diligence is not all about succeeding in life. Diligence is ensuring that things go well. It's not only about success, it's about showing the values that you stand for. And by the way, diligence is one of the 7 heavenly virtues taught in theology and appreciated by the industrial age. A diligent behavior is indicative of a work ethic a belief that work is good in itself. Diligence is careful and persistent effort or work. Now, after the Catholic Pope Gregory released his list of 7 deadly sins in 598 AD, the 7 virtues established in the Catholic faith became identified as chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, and humility. We understand that Catholicism was the representation of Christianity during that period, and practicing them in a chaotic and unconscientious world is said to protect one against temptation from the 7 deadly sins. And what are those 7 deadly sins? Lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. So they established diligence as one of the 7 virtues that every person must have. Diligence is one of the 7 virtues that everyone must have in order to be thriving, in whatever society that we find ourselves. Sister Lydia says the way you do your work is a reflection of who you are. Yes, ma, it is. Oh, it is, please. And every one of us must think of it that way. That people will define us by how we do our work. Okay. Diligence, as I said, is not just hard work. It is ensuring that the details of work and the information attached to it is adhered to. It is inspecting and taking an inventory of work that needs to be done and following them to the latter. Diligence is working hard and doing the best job that you possibly can. When you are diligent, you take special care to do things step by step. You think more carefully to make sure things will turn out right. Being diligent is being industrious. Look at the industry. You want to produce a particular product. You are not producing for a family. You're producing for a nation. You're producing products to be exported. You're producing products, to be consumed by a lot of people. So you are looking at how you can produce at a great speed, efficiently, and effectively. You're also thinking of the care that you want to give to the product to ensure that the product is of great standard. You're thinking of the people that you are going to be using to produce this product, their win. You're thinking of the standard that you need to put in place in the industry, the cleanliness of the industry. You're thinking of the machines to use, the implements to use. Are they functional? Are they, of great standard? Or how can you improve the efficiency of those equipments? All right, it's all part of diligence. It's all part of diligence. Diligence is we being industrious, giving all we can and all we have to in order for things to be done. Diligence is having plan B, plan C, plan D. When plan A fails, ready. According to Miguel de Cervantes, diligence is the mother of good fortune, and idleness, its opposite, never brought a man to the goal of any of his best wishes. I'll take it again. He said, diligence is the mother of good fortune. And he said also that idleness is the opposite of diligence. Idleness never brought a man to the goal of any of his best wishes. If wishes were horses, beggars will ride. How many of us have dreamed of achieving something in life and we have not been able to go anywhere near it? It's because of lack of diligence. It's because of lack of diligence. Some of us are not lazy, but the problem is we are not putting due diligence to our work. We're not putting due diligence as a value that will form our character. That is why we are not anywhere near our dreams or our goals. The moment we start putting diligence as a value in our character, then we will notice that a certain group of people will be attracted to us, and those are the kings, the rulers in society, the people that will change or bring transformation to society. Those are the people that we will attract naturally, because they also have that ethic called diligence. I'll fast forward. How can we be diligent? Starting with says, diligence is the ability to persist, focusing on finishing well. All right. Yes, that's a brilliant one. Esther says, a diligent student avoids distractions, invest enough time to studying the topic, ask questions in order to understand the topic very well, reads ahead of the teacher in order to know more, seeks to discuss with others, answers the questions about that topic, which helps him or her to prepare well for the end of the term examinations. Brilliant, brilliant. Great, great. All right, let's proceed. How can we be diligent? Diligent, sorry. Number one, always do your best. When I say your best should be double or triple the energy and the effort that you are putting in at the moment. And the more you grow, you increase it. Always do your best. So, for example, you want to do a program. For example, you have achieved that. Okay, you have set a plan that I want to achieve. This is the aim of the program. I want to train students or people to become self-empowered. I want to train them in a particular skill. Okay, and you set a target that, all right, in 1 week, at the end of 1 week, I want students to be able to handle this part of a particular trade or skill very well. So you put in your best in getting the right people to be trained. You put in your best in getting the right resources, the right place to train them. You put in your best to understand the psychology of the people that you want to teach, their experience, their background. You put in your best by ensuring that these people will get the best from you yourself, because you're the one that wants to impart knowledge, right? You put in your best to ensure that a topic that you have taught, they understand it very, very well. It is striving for excellence. Excellence in everything that we do. And the way you handle or teach a topic will determine how it will be received. All right? It will determine whether the students will gear themselves up to learn or not to learn. Always do your best. Number 2, be willing to risk failure in order to accomplish a higher goal. Be willing to risk failure in order to accomplish a higher goal. What do I mean? After all said and done, think of what are the areas that you're likely to fail at, and see if there's something that you can do in order to achieve your desired end. There are times whereby you have done so many things, but you still fail. You fail because you're not informed, or you may have missed out some important parts that are really necessary. Okay? So be willing to risk failure in order to accomplish your higher goal. Number 3, be self-disciplined. If we are disciplined, all right, people around us will be disciplined, because we are exhibiting a character and people are watching us. So what they see us do is how they will treat us. When they see that we are disciplined, then they will respect our work as well. Number 4, learn from your mistakes and failures. How can we be diligent when you have made mistakes in some areas before? It would have taught you a lesson that in this area you don't have enough knowledge, you have enough information. So what can you do? For next time's sake, you plan ahead. You do a forecast that, okay, when this thing happens, this and this area, this and this things are what I can do or put in check to ensure that I do not fail again. It is being diligent. He said that it is a mad person that will do what he usually does the same way and expect a different result. How can you be diligent? Always look at the big picture. Open your eyes. Think long term. Don't focus only on short term alone. Have a big picture of what the future would look like and start preparing now. How can we be diligent? Set goals and stay focused. Set goals and stay focused. Usually people who are diligent are those people who have a record of doing something in the past, and they are still at it. They have become good, or they have become the best in doing those kind of things. Set goals and stay focused. The next point, don't give up just because things seem difficult. When things are difficult, what you can do is to sit back and re-strategize. If something is difficult, it is a time to to go back to the drawing board and look at why something is difficult. Assess it. It may be that you yourself need to make some changes in your ways. Maybe that you may need to fine-tune the way you do something, for example. Don't just give up because you are trying to do something and it's not working. Look at better ways to do it. Learn from experts. Learn from experienced people. You may need to hire somebody to come and put you through, or you may need to go to learn a particular skill better. You need to gain some extra knowledge or some extra skill in order to achieve it. Don't just give up because you are trying to do something, but put in much effort in ensuring that you gain more knowledge in doing it. How can we be diligent? We can be diligent by not leaving things unfinished. Most of the time when we are when we are doing something, we do half and we stop, and we don't do it anymore. We procrastinate that we will do it next time. But when we are diligent, we will try and make sure that we achieve at least the greater part of something. We can take a rest and then continue later, not procrastinating. How can we be diligent? We can be diligent by getting closer to people who are also diligent. Because we as human beings are social animals, and we learn, we imitate people consciously and unconsciously. So it is good for us to imitate good character. Let us draw near to those people who are also diligent. To round it up, a diligent person is an excellent planner. A diligent person is an excellent planner. A diligent person produces excellent work. A diligent person produces excellent works. I remember the scripture that says, "Do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before unknown men." A diligent person is faithful in everyday task. A diligent person is faithful in everyday task. He sees everyday task as being important and should be done perfectly. I'm not saying that while you're trying to be diligent, you will not make some mistakes. All right, you can. In fact, you must. You should, because it will be a learning ground for you. But as you continue at it, it becomes part of you. You become better at it. A diligent person pushes through obstacles of all kinds. A diligent person pushes through obstacles of all kinds. And lastly, a diligent person is self-motivated. A diligent person is self-motivated. If you want to be diligent, if you want to excel, if you want transformation to go on in your life, and if you want to be an example to other people, you must be self-motivated. You must not let anybody to pull you down. You must not allow your emotions to dictate how you will act. Whether you are feeling good or whether you're not feeling good. Whether you are tired or whether you're not tired. All right? Whether today is a good day or it's not feeling like a good day. You don't allow your emotions to tell you what to do. Rather, you get at it. In fact, you pay deaf ears. You become tone deaf to your emotions. All right. You focus on what needs to be done and your goals. If every one of us can have a change of mentality and lifestyle, character, all right, things will become better for us. Our lives will be transformed. We will challenge our society. We will challenge our environment. We will make sure that things are in the right order. If we want the best for our environment, our country, if you want the best for our society, if you want to begin to bring change to our environment, we must start with ourselves. We all should wake up to the fact that we must be diligent. And wherever we find ourselves, we must propagate the values of being diligent. Let's see what our friends are saying and those who also joined us. Let us appreciate them. Hello, Latifu Kizangi, for joining us today. We hope that the little that you were able to get um, is something that is worth the while. Esther says, how to be diligent, see the big picture of the future, and start working towards it now. Break down the vision into weekly goals that you need to achieve. Brilliant. Thank you, Charlie Noel Jacobs, for joining. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Baffor, for joining us as well. Thank you. I hope that you benefited from this, and I hope that we all can propagate the value of diligence. Esther says, draw near to people who are diligent, imitate them, and eventually this becomes part of you. Yes. Thank you, Carlo, for joining. I think you joined a bit very late, but nevertheless, you have the video. You can share it on your timeline because we'll be ending the session soon. Okay, we'll be ending the session soon, so you can share it on your timeline to watch the video again. All right. Hello to Akire Nelson. Thank you for joining us. Let's appreciate those who joined us earlier. Well, Paul, it's a pleasure having you here on the platform. God bless you. Pretty Osas, thank you for joining us. God bless you. Amali, thank you for joining us. I hope that you learned something important that can transform your life and transform the environment that you find yourself in. To Musime, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure seeing you here on the platform. Hello, David Sempala. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Sister Chinwe, it's always a pleasure to see you. We are believing and trusting God for life and family, that He who has begun a good work in your life will perfect it. In Jesus' name. Okay, I think we should come. We have come to the end of the of today's live broadcast, and it's a pleasure being here today. I hope that at other times we can look at much more deeper things that can help us to develop our character and help our society also to, to be, reformed. So if we display or exhibit, the right character, we are transmitting a better message, and people will naturally imitate those kind of character. It's a pleasure having you all here today. Once again, I bring you greetings from myself and my family, and I hope that soon that we shall come back again next week Saturday, sharing with you other characters that we can use in developing ourselves. Thank you for watching us today. Bye for now.